requires you to trust this team with your life.
NCIS is all new. CBS Monday, 9/8 Central.
Looking pretty nice for tonight, and a lot of clouds for the weekend, but fortunately not a lot of precipitation. The weather details through the weekend coming up at 11.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, we'll run past the past 3 years on the anniversary of the start of the war in Ukraine. Plus, we break down some of the biggest headlines that took over the media this past week in Washington, D.C. And we hear how consumer spending in the U.S. is down in recent months, causing concern for big box retailers. Your 19 News at 11 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
Checking things out for Marquette for Saturday. Looking at generally a lot of clouds around here, but no precipitation. And after a cold start, temperatures should rebound close to freezing as we head into the afternoon with a lighter southwest wind shifting west. And looking at temperatures in the lower 30s and most of the spots, probably upper 20s towards Sault Ste. Marie and into Newberry. The rest of the weekend forecast coming up later in the show. Kevin?
Tom, thank you. This time of year marks the 3rd anniversary of the Russian invasion into Ukraine. The new administration wants to end the war on their terms, but experts say the U.S. needs to include Europe and Ukraine at the negotiation table. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp shares what experts believe should be the next steps in securing Ukraine.
Under the previous administration, Biden would comment on Ukraine's bravery in defending their country and assert that the U.S. would continue to support Ukraine. But there's a shift in the U.S. attitude towards the war following President Trump's return to the White House. Trump has shut out Ukraine from peace negotiations with the Kremlin, and there's a growing feud between Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
It cannot just be a deal between U.S. and Russia and not having Ukraine. It can't just be a deal. It has to be a good deal. And that good deal entails having Ukraine at the table, having European leaders buy in.
Policy and Ukraine experts held a recent discussion with the Center for European Policy Analysis about Ukraine's future. While the U.S. is encouraging European leaders to step up their contributions, experts say it's vital that the U.S. remains engaged in aid for Ukraine.
What we really have to focus on is what's going to give you a lasting peace. Is going to require that we maintain and not abandon one of our strongest forms of strength, which is our ability to work with our allies and partners.
Despite the negotiations going on between Russia and the U.S., experts say Ukraine needs to continue advocating for EU and NATO membership, which they say is critical for deterrence against future attacks. And while there are different ideas about a framework for Ukraine's stability and security, experts recommend the U.S. to appoint a special envoy or representative for Ukraine's security and defense, help build Ukraine's defense industrial base, and make the messaging clear about their goals for Ukraine.
Having Congress going on the record and reaffirming U.S. support for Ukraine could be absolutely critical at this point.
In Washington, Rachel Knapp, WZMQ 19 News.
It was another busy week full of downsizing efforts, protests, and late nights for lawmakers. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Brendan Scanlon walks us through this week in Washington.
This week in Washington, federal workers are fed up.
We work very hard. We care about our jobs. We care about serving the American people. We've heard that federal workers have been fired and told that they are being fired for poor performance when they had stellar performances.
People are being accused of poor performance, and that's not true. There was no intention. I've had conversations about the next year and 2 years, and there were long-term plans to keep me.
Democrats fighting downsizing efforts.
They are pouring fuel on a fire.
Amid a federal hiring freeze and employee buyout and layoffs, Democrats are criticizing the administration's firing of FAA employees.
The Trump administration fired hundreds of Federal Aviation Administration employees, jeopardizing public safety and threatening our national security.
The White House pushing back, saying less than 400 probationary employees were let go, and none of whom were air traffic controllers nor critical safety personnel. And peace talks.
We have to understand that it's been 3.5 years since there's been any sort of regularized contact between the United States and Russia.
On Tuesday, U.S. and Russian officials agreeing to resume respective operations in Moscow and D.C. as officials work toward ending the conflict in Ukraine. And controversial comments.
A dictator without elections. Zelensky better move fast or he's not going to have a country left. Got to move fast.
Tensions rising between President Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky. And budget brawl. Senate Republicans passed a $340 billion budget blueprint for Trump's agenda after an all-nighter.
In this vote, the yeas are 52, the nays are 48.
House Republicans are pursuing a Trump-backed single budget bill approach, which will need to offset the cost of extending 2017 Trump tax cuts in their one big beautiful budget bill. Democrats worry they may target Medicaid.
There is nothing beautiful about cutting Medicaid for millions of American families struggling to be on their feet.
And Doge dividends. The White House now considering passing Doge savings to Americans.
We give 20% of the Doge savings to American citizens.
It was also a big week for the president's cabinet. New additions include Kash Patel as FBI director and Howard Lutnick as Commerce Secretary. I'm Brendan Scanlon, and that was a look at this week in Washington. We'll see you next week with much more. Back to you.
There are new concerns that the economy might slip back this year because people are not spending as much as they normally do. Walmart's yearly sales outlook for 2025 was less than Wall Street expected, and that hurt the retail giant's stock price, which fell more than 6% yesterday. Kelly O'Grady appeared on CBS Mornings to break down what it means for the broader economy.
They sell need-to-have items. They are the nation's largest grocer. If Walmart says, quote, we are in an uncertain time, that is a potential red flag. And then you zoom out, you couple this with the retail sales numbers that we got for January. Biggest drop we've seen in 2 years. And then the data that we're getting on how consumers feel about inflation, they think inflation is going to be about 4% within a year. And so Walmart's outlook reflects that potential pullback in spending.
Well, Walmart also indicated they're gaining traction among consumers earning above $100,000 a year, a possible sign that all income levels are feeling pressure and looking for deals. In Lansing, Governor Whitmer has signed new tipped wage and earned sick time acts into law. Lawmakers worked late last night, coming to a final agreement on the bills, passing them just in time to avoid an old 2018 law from taking effect. The final tipped wage law sets the minimum wage at $12.48 and tipped wages at 38% of that. The Earned Sick Time Act now requires employers to provide full-time workers with 72 hours of paid sick time up front, or 40 hours for new and small businesses with 10 or fewer employees.
I think the mark of a good compromise is that at the end of the day, bringing both sides together for policy solutions that improve the bottom line for the small businesses and the workers of the state of Michigan. I think that's what we got.
There's a full rundown of those bills on our website, WZMQ19.com. Groundbreaking treatment in London has improved the vision of 4 children with a rare genetic disorder, otherwise were likely destined to go blind. One of the children is a 6-year-old from here in the U.S. Chapman Bell has the story from London.
Jace was a baby when his parents first noticed something with their young son.
I was coming home from work, playing with Jace at night on the bed, and I looked up at DJ, my wife, and said to her, at what point did they start to look at you?
Jace was born with a rare genetic disorder called LCA4, and his parents learned their son could only distinguish light and dark and was rapidly going blind. But the Connecticut family discovered help for their little boy could be on the other side of the Atlantic in London using gene therapy.
This is what's affected by the condition, and this is the tissue we're targeting.
In 2020, Jace, then 2, and his parents flew from the U.S. to take part in the world's first trial, along with 3 other young children from around the globe, hoping to save their deteriorating vision.
He came out of surgery, and within the first couple minutes, he was able to get out of bed. He was spinning, dancing around, making all of the nurses laugh.
The treatment works by injecting healthy copies of a faulty gene called AIPL1 through the front of the eye into the retina. The DNA is inside a harmless virus which breaks into the retinal cells. There, the replacement gene kickstarts production of AIPL1 proteins, essential for healthy vision. Jace and the other children have been monitored now for almost 5 years, taking part in tests like locating objects less than 1/4 of an inch in size and walking hallways. Now 6, Jace is seeing the world in a way that might not have been possible.
We had no idea, what the results were going to be or are going to be for the long-term future, but we've seen some phenomenal results, and for us, if this just helps Jace navigate his world a little bit better, then it's a massive win.
Tom DeVecchio gives us your first warning weather forecast after the break. Plus, we head to Iron Mountain for the kickoff of the FIS Continental Cup. And Escanaba will soon be home to a new splash park, replacing the Webster wading pool. We'll have a timeline on when it's expected to be complete when we come back.
19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
Here's a business looking for a customer. Here's a customer looking for a business. And that's where the Better Business Bureau comes in. The BBB connects people with businesses they can trust. That's why 80% of people choose BBB accredited businesses over non-accredited ones with the same A+ letter rating. Live happily, better after. Always look for the sign of a better business because it's looking out for you. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Tonight, Elton John takes the Colbert Questionnaire.
Have you ever asked someone for their autograph?
Yes.
Who?
Elvis Presley.
CBS Tonight.
Betting online can be fun. And really, what have you got to lose? Don't regret the bet. For tips that will help, go to don'tregretthebet.org. A message from the Michigan Gaming Control Board.
John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to get their car fixed. John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to fix their car. Was that right? For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market. Why do I keep forgetting that word? Experience. Okay, go. For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Marquette.
And don't forget,
The UP200 was a race to remember, and 19 News had you covered. All the highlights, top finishers, and behind-the-scenes moments you saw nowhere else. The stories, the champions, the thrill. Only on 19 News, your top source for UP200 action. Now, WZMQ TV19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Tom DeVecchio.
Checking out the headlines for Marquette and the Upper Peninsula for this weekend. Not too bad. We're looking at generally tranquil conditions for the weekend. Not a ton of wind, no precipitation. Temperatures will be warmer compared to what we've had in the past. This is looking pretty good. And as I mentioned, the early evening shows this warmth, or at least mild conditions, will have a little bit of staying power. It's not just going to go away after a day or two, and that's good news here. Maybe help melt things and kind of clear off any of the side roads here. We have a lot of ice here in Lake Erie right now, and Lake Huron's starting to get ice covered on the perimeters, and the perimeters of even the deeper lakes like Lake Michigan and here toward Lake Superior. We got almost solid ice cover across much of the shoreline, particularly the north shoreline of the lake. But again, the vast majority of Lake Superior still wide open on the waters. So we still have potential for lake effect here, but the air is stable. And oftentimes it is, when you have these very light winds here, that'll be becoming more variable during the afternoon hours on that Saturday. And they'll stay on the light side, but eventually go back south and southeast on Sunday. Sunday. And that's why we think this mild temperatures will have the ability to hang around for a bit because we don't really have that cold Arctic blast that we've had with past systems, and that will keep things milder for us. Now, what it also does, when the cold air stays in place, cold air is very dense, warm air is lighter, but when the winds shift to the south and try to bring that warm air in, sometimes the cold air, especially if the winds aren't that strong, cold air can be reluctant to go. So the warm air goes over the cold air, and that's what we call overrunning clouds. If there's a lot of moisture, it could even lead to rain or snow, but the moisture is pretty low, pretty scant. So while the clouds will probably hang tough for the weekend, we just don't see anything, maybe a passing flurry, a touch of drizzle here and there, but that will be about it for the upcoming weekend. For tonight, though, partly cloudy overall. Temperatures will be dropping into the lower teens, so mid-teens, so still pretty cold for tonight, but that'll lead to temperatures here in Marquette close to freezing, maybe mid-30s along the Wisconsin border, staying in the 20s, though, from Newberry east toward Sault Ste. Marie. And into the rest of the weekend, though, looking good for Sunday, mid-30s. We'll probably have maybe some sun, but primarily cloudy. Check it out, 43 for Monday. That's good. That'll help really clear things up. And we'll stay above freezing through Wednesday. And while colder air is coming in for the end of the week, it's not that Arctic push that we've had the past couple of weeks.
Thanks, Tom. Since 1939, Pine Mountain and Iron Mountain has been holding world-class ski jumping tournaments on what is widely believed to be the finest ski jumping facility in North America. Our John Truitt brings us there.
The 2025 FIS Continental Cup competition didn't disappoint. This morning, during qualifying jumps, the hill record was achieved with a jump of 139.5 meters. Then later today, in the first round of the Continental Cup, a new hill record was met by Manuel Fettner of Austria, with a distance of 140.5 meters.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new hill record. Distance for Manuel, 140.5 meters.
Pine Mountain not only has some of the finest ski jumpers in the world, but the best fans. It is tradition to gather at the bottom and hold the UP's largest tailgate party. Sandy Lefebvre and her brother Jim Petroff have been throwing this elaborate party for years, where everyone is welcome.
There's probably nothing like it in the UP. It's what's neat about it too is you get so many people that are from the area that come back just for this.
The Continental Cup is an important economic engine for the area. Over 10,000 spectators converge on Pine Mountain, spending money on lodging, food, and admission tickets.
Brings in a lot of people, that's for sure. The hotels are all packed, the restaurants are packed. It's economically, it's a big boost for the community.
Lefebvre and company have a pretty nice shack, big enough for all their friends, with room for a bar and a stage with live music.
We have a deep fryer, we cook wings, we've got chili, we have a couple of Blackstones. Tomorrow morning we'll have omelets.
The Continental Cup competition runs through Sunday afternoon. At Pine Mountain, John Truitt, WZMQ 19 News.
You can purchase admission buttons for the competition from a variety of businesses in the Iron Mountain area. In Escanaba, a project years in the making is finally on track to be completed this year. The city has approved a bid to begin construction on a splash park at the former Webster wading pool. It's been out of commission since the start of the pandemic. The park will be equipped with a rubber surface, sprinklers, and other amenities. With no standing water, it will not need to be staffed. The city's recreation director believes the splash park will be a great addition to the area.
The community got used to having something in Northtown in that area, and it's kind of the same concept. I think it's great for the little ones. Sometimes the beach scares them a little bit, so having a confined area for the kids to just play around in, and I think it's like a little reassurance for parents too. I think it's something to definitely look forward to.
Construction is expected to be complete by late summer, and the splash park will most likely open in 2026. Mike Ludlam has your Friday night sports highlights. When we come back, he'll start with Michigan Tech hockey taking on Fair State after this.
Instant games from the Michigan Lottery. With dozens of games to choose from and millions of dollars in prizes, it's instant fun for everyone. And try our newest exciting games with $195 million in prizes.
US Med, a trusted supplier of diabetes equipment for nearly 30 years, has great news for people living with diabetes and the pain of regular testing. New Medicare and private insurance guidelines have expanded coverage for continuous glucose monitors, even for people not using insulin. The days of repeated, painful finger sticks are over. Now you can wear a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, and eliminate routine finger sticks. US Med has the newest models of CGM, which are more accurate and convenient than ever. CGMs are shown to lower your A1C, increase your time in range, and reduce the risk of hypoglycemic events. Shipping is free, and will even bill your insurer directly. Don't spend one more painful day testing your blood sugar. Call now to get your continuous glucose monitoring system so you can take control of your diabetes and get back to enjoying life.
Call US Med now.
Your neighbors are out here, working hard behind the scenes to keep our environment healthy, testing the water, monitoring ticks and mosquitoes for disease, and educating anglers. Michigan's local and state public health team does more than help prevent disease. They help all of us lead healthier lives.
Shunk's big winter sale on mattresses. Get a queen mattress, your choice, firm or plush, just $3.99.
This is home for CBS, WZMQ 19.
Good evening, everyone. Michigan Tech is looking to take another step toward clinching home ice in the first round of the CCHA playoffs. The Huskies entertained Ferris State this season.
Back to the point.
This
There's
was
a shot
fun game. First period, Victor Hertig and Steven Sardarian will set up Max Koskaperti for the goal. That's at 6:04, and the Huskies are in business at 1-0. About 3.5 minutes later, that's Isaac Gordon on the doorstep from Logan Morell and Elias Janssen, 2-0 Huskies. And then the fun begins. While shorthanded, Alex Nordstrom, the Atlantic Mine native, the Holtengrad steals and scores. At 15:46, the Huskies have a 3-0 lead after 20 minutes. To the second, this time it is going to be Nordstrom again. Boom! Top right corner, Koskaperti and Nick Williams, the helpers at 3:41, 4-0 Tech. And next, the power play. It's gonna be, yes, Alex strikes again. A natural hat trick with 3 different goals. Yes, short power, short, even strength, we're all good. Michigan Tech goes on to win this one by the count of 6-1. See if we can get him an Offensive Player of the Week for that. To the scoreboard, unfortunately, NMU could not score tonight. St. Thomas wins 3-0. Lake Superior State also could not score tonight. Minnesota State, a 4-0 victor there. Bemidji State takes care of Bowling Green 3-2. Alaska gets past Augustana 2-1. And in the Big Ten, Penn State and Michigan State play to a tie at 2. Boys high school basketball. Here's a late addition to the list. Trout Creek and Rudyard at Marquette Senior High School. First quarter, Caden Bessinen gets a fast break going ahead to Austin Gordon. The spin cycle works for the layup. Panthers with the early lead. Not hard to find the youngest fan there tonight. Very intimate gathering. Rudyard's turn. Jackson Clark inside the Jack Cifelli. Strong move to the hoop. Another Cifelli basket gave Rudyard a 6-5 advantage. Not for long. Bessinen spots Cameron Logie from the outside. That three-pointer allowed ETC to go up 8-6. Back come the Bulldogs as easy as 1, 2 for Jackson Clark, and 3 for the three-pointer. Rudyard leaps in front 9-8. That didn't last long either. Caden Bessinen to Austin Gordon, around the rim and good. 11-9 Panthers. Gordon had 10 points in 4 minutes. Next, Cooper Moylanen to Bessinen, drives, fakes a defender with his eyes and puts it in off the window. 15-12 ETC. A 24-14 cushion for the Panthers after 1. To the second defense is a little bit better. Thomas Logie says no. The Cifelli on that one. Following in inbound, the next inbound, in fact, Jackson Clark will can a three-pointer, but not enough. Trout Creek wins the neutral site game by the count of 60-53. Boys scoreboard, Bessemer drops Lance 67-48. Gwynn a 13-point win at home over Stevenson 55-42. Escanaba 3 better than Gladstone 52-49. North Central 56, Park River Harris 36. Maplewood Baptist over Engadine 72-46. We did not hear from Cedarville Detour and St. Ignace. And Brimley with some offense tonight, 88-53 over Alanson. To girls basketball, Hancock making the trip down to Ishpeming to take on the Hematites. I think that was the plan. Okay, go to the next one then. Let's go to Lakeland and Hubble Calumet. That's fine. Thank you very much. First quarter, Allison Bjorn for Calumet finds Jackie Keelanen for a short basket, and the Copper Kings have a 2-0 lead. Lakeland and Humboldt responds quickly. Emily Jokala to Cleo Milky. That one's good for 3, and the Lakes are up by 1. Going the other way, Copper Kings Bailey Strom with the steal. She locates Keelanen for 2. Calumet trails 5-4, 21 points for Keelanen. More blue and gray thievery. Bjorn with the takeaway ahead to Bailey Strom for 2 more. She had 20 points, and Calumet is up 6-5. Emily Jokala will hit a baseline floater for the Lakes. Calumet still has the lead. Jess Anderson will connect with Millie Locus, and that's a triple as well. 14-7 Calumet, timeout Lakes. Calumet picks up another victory, 67-50. Now I'm told that we do have Ishpeming and Hancock, and it was senior night in Ishpeming, but it's a junior getting the scoring going for the Hematites as Janessa Eagle flies home a 3-pointer. She then followed with an old-fashioned 3-point play to make it 6-0. Hancock on the inbound. Emery Chenoweth to Lydia Pelly. Down the lane, spins and scores, plus the foul. Free throw good. Bulldogs trail 6-3. Bulldogs again. Kay Pietola to Emery Chenoweth. Down the lane for the bucket. Next Ishpeming possession. Izzy Perry with the old okey doke. Watch this. Sight, fakes the handoff, and there she goes to the basket, converting that one off the rim. Hematites would strike again. Senior Laney Corpy, all 3 there, and pretty much all net as well. Ishpeming keeps the momentum going. Izzy Perry misses from the outside, but what a save by Peyton Cockreed to Janessa Eagle for the hoop. Eagle poured in 33. Ishpeming turns back Hancock 58-42. To the girls' scores, if we could. Ontonagon, an 8-point winner over Dollar Bay, 41-33. Ava Gerard had 23 points and 10 rebounds for Houghton, but Marquette had 4 players in double figures. Sentinels get the revenge match, 61-48. Jeffers easily over Wakefield Marinesco, 62-22. Norway, no trouble with Rapid River. Did not hear from Pickford and Newberry. Let's go to the Big Ten. We've been waiting for 14th-ranked Michigan State against 12th-ranked Michigan for a few days now. Michigan cannot convert the alley-oop opportunity. Then Trey Holloman will show you how it's done. The Cohen, bang, Carr, and the Spartans have an 11-6 lead in the first half. Michigan, though, starts a run. Namari Burnett will knock down a 3-pointer here, and they ended up with 15 straight points, and the Wolverines have a 23-16 advantage. We jump to the second half, tied at 42. Spartans go in front. Carson Cooper a slam, and the Spartans have a 2-point lead. Then Trey Holloman starts going nuts. There's one 3-pointer. Here comes 3-pointer number 2. Can we say he had a natural hat trick as well? Sure, of 3-pointers, not a bad deal. He had 18 points. Jace Richardson had 21. Spartans take this 75-62. They meet again in East Lansing March 9th right here on WZMQ, and we will be right back.
Houghton's the spot where we get all 4 seasons, the snow, the shine, everything in between. So the shoes are everything. You know, what you have is going to help you perform better, perform longer, stay injury-free longer. Whether you're a runner, walker, or you're just looking for a shoe to get yourself through the day, we'll take an extensive approach to finding the shoe that's right for you. Whatever surface that you're going to be on, we've got you covered.
UP200 is wrapped, and one station captured all the excitement. From the thrilling final stretch to the stories behind the finish line, 19 News had all the interviews with top finishers, mushers, and their amazing teams. The weather cooperated for the highs, the challenges, and the unforgettable moments from Michigan's premier sled dog race. 19 News, the best coverage and most complete UP200 coverage. 19 News, your trusted source for the UP200 race.
Hey everybody, Jerry O'Connell here. You know what? Let's play some Pictionary. Can you guess what this is? That's right. Weekdays, 9 a.m. only on CBS WZMQ. I'm not supposed to write letters, but don't miss it.
Pictionary, weekdays at 9 a.m. on WZMQ CBS. Escanaba reporter Lily Simmons on WZMQ 19 News. Tonight's sports is brought to you by the Window Store.
Give your home a fresh new look with our energy-efficient windows and stylish doors. And here's a deal you won't want to miss. For a limited time, when you buy 3 windows or doors, you'll get 1 free. That's right, buy 3, get 1 free. Don't wait. This offer ends February 28th. Call today and start transforming your home with the Window Store. Quality windows, doors, and unbeatable savings. Only at the Window Store.
Checking out the latest on Futurecast. Pretty tranquil tonight into the weekend. Will be partly cloudy tonight, but during the day, Saturday, as you mentioned earlier, those overrunning clouds come in as mild air tries to overtake some of that cold core that's been around here pretty much for the balance of the month. It won't go quietly, but at least we won't have any precipitation. There's just not enough moisture in the air to give us any more than maybe a few passing flurries over the weekend, or perhaps a touch of drizzle. As for temperatures tomorrow, we should be able to get close to freezing most areas, even probably mid-30s along the Wisconsin border. And if you don't hit freezing on Saturday, almost all of you should be able to hit it on Sunday. Again, not much precip. We're into the low 40s on Monday, keeping it mild through Wednesday, maybe a bit of a mix here and there. It turns colder but not frigid as we head toward the end of next week. Kevin?
Thanks, Tom. Mike, it's Friday. What else do you have for
Friday,
us?
here we go. Michigan High School Athletic Association Performance of the Week. I guess we'll get to that in a second. First, the retirement of a jersey from my high school, Grand Ledge. That's NBA player Al Horford. He had his number 42 retired tonight. Played college basketball at the University of Florida. Played many seasons in the NBA. Around 14,000 points or so, and he became the first Dominican player to win an NBA championship last season after helping the Celtics defeat the Dallas Mavericks. Unfortunately, Grand Ledge lost to Magic Johnson's high school, Lansing Everett 59-53. Okay, MHSAA Performance of the Week, Marquette swimmer Olive Kruger won the 100 and 500-yard freestyles and 2 medleys as well. Or 2 relays as well. Kearney NATO's Mariska Lorela will go to Wayne State for the shot put and the discus. Ishpeming Westwood, that better known as Westwood girls volleyball team wins, bowling team wins its Division III regional. And Ishpeming Nagari boy.
Update your home with new GE appliances from Kirkish Furniture and Houghton. GE appliances are built to last, have print-resistant finishes, and offer high performance with energy efficiency. Kirkish has a large selection for both kitchen and laundry, free delivery, and 0% financing.